What's up guys, back today with another video. I have an awesome scene that I'm sure a lot of you guys know of. It's from The Departed. I'm going to break down a little bit about this scene and what I did to kind of recreate some of the sounds and some of the automation, more importantly. Again, a scene with no dialogue. I just want to stress how important sound design and Foley can be when there's absolutely no spoken word distracting you and the brain from what's being on screen. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so we have this scene here, the tense scene where they kind of start to get onto one another here and they start to figure out really what's going on. If you guys haven't seen The Departed, I highly suggest that you check it out. What I wanted to do is actually come in here to Fairlight, and I just want to kind of show you the full breakdown of just how many sounds kind of go into this scene itself as you kind of progress along it. I only did about close to 2 minutes or so, and there's a lot to get into today. So first things first, I want to go over the start of the scene here where we have the cell phone. The background music and the sounds, the score of this scene that I did was myself. Composed a couple things here to kind of give it that, you know, old school, you know, late 80s, early 90s, late 90s type of soundscape, and just kind of, you know, give it a score that I feel like fits. Kind of tense, you know. Now, one of the first things I do want to get into, once again, is just how important the room tones can be, right? So when I get into this section here, what I want to show you is kind of a breakdown of the office noises that I used. Okay, so we know that he's in an office, he's at, you know, police headquarters, wherever it may be here. And you can hear printers going off in the background, you know, people talking, shuffling of papers, cell phones being hung up, office phones being hung up, the ambience there, and computer room beeps, and everything you can imagine being in the background. I also added this low rumble into it as well. Because it's kind of an intense scene, I wanted to add that. I felt like it would fit pretty well. So as we progress along, let me unsolo those. This is important here, okay? So I wanted to add a lot of realism into the phone call itself as it starts to ring. A lot of us know what it's like to kind of dial and you see it ringing, and then as you bring it to your head, there's kind of that increase in sound. There's that increase in decibel when it comes to the ringing, getting closer to the actor's face. I thought that was important for the audience to feel like you're almost there on the phone with them, you know, like you're bringing the phone to yourself right there in that moment. So in this scene here, in this little audio file, I do have an automation that kind of comes in and kind of gradually gets up into his ear, and you can hear it right there. It just gets louder. So I have him pull the bottle down, Leo's bottle. You can hear that as he takes a swig. And that was just really, really cool. I thought that fit really well. He sits the bottle down over here as well. That was a really cool one for me to do as well, because he doesn't set it down perfectly flat, you know. He kind of sets it at an angle so it tilts from the front to the back. And I saw that, right? Boom, boom. And as a sound designer or Foley artist, you have to look at that stuff. As a mixer, right? As a master for Foley, you have to see those slight movements and know that it's going to make that noise. And I changed the audio level. This one here is a little bit lower. If you can see, negative 27, negative 34. So the difference is so minimal, but it makes perfect sense, right? I want to get into the phone, which is one of the biggest parts that I want to talk about, and how creativity can really spawn when you are doing Foley. Wanted to go over what I used for a cell phone vibration. I have a couple different levels here. I have an actual cell phone vibrating. This here, this is actually my vocal cords. So what I did with my microphone was I legitimately went up to the microphone and I mimicked a cell phone. So I went mm, mm, mm. And what I can do with that is I can actually pull it up and start to mess with the velocity of it and the semitones of it, right? So I know that based on the scene, when he's looking at the phone, I know the phone here is going to be on a box. So that is very important when you have to talk about material on another material and how those things coincide and interact with one another. That's super important. Okay, so I wanted to give the cell phone vibration a bit of realism, and I stacked another one here and kind of had them at the same point. So there's layers of the cell phone because it's rattling, it's very slight reverberations going on with the cell phone on the box. So I wanted to kind of stack and have some differentials going on. And this part right here is what's important that I really wanted to get into in the video is, the realism that comes into you picking up an actual older cell phone like this. I'm sure we kind of remember some of them. Maybe our parents had some. I didn't have something like this quite as old, but what's really cool is just the sound that it makes when he picks it up off the box and he puts it in his hand. So let's get into this real quick. I'm gonna play it for you guys and show you how the automation really pulls it together and makes it seem like he really picked it up. Okay, so the top layer fades, okay, and then we're left with this one. When we're left with this one, I brought this down here. These are all -3. From here on, when he's holding the cell phone in his hand, these last 3 vibrations actually come into play at -4. Okay, so I wanted to get some realism in here. Let me show this actually so you guys can see it. So listen to the difference. Just like that, okay? I'm gonna unsolo it. And back, you can hear the room tone that I was talking about. So I actually did have an open room here. You can listen very subtly. You can hear like a truck backing up. Might be late at night, might be early in the morning. And you can hear like things going on outside in Boston, down beneath your apartment. People talking. I thought that was super cool to have in there. The click of the cell phone kind of brings it to his face. And these room noises, these room tones change between each cut. I had to go in and find each cut and match the right room tone to it. Office noise. Back to Leo, office, back to Leo, office. And that is how that's done, okay? I then want to show you guys kind of what goes into the fluster that he gets into with picking up all these items. It's such a quick movement, but the amount of things that go into the cell phone drop, the cloth, the bedding, him standing up and planting his feet on the ground. This all comes in here, right? on wooden floor, you can tell that it's on wooden floor. So I wanted to have some bass. He's wearing these boots. He's wearing these kind of light shoes or whatever it may be, maybe. So just some heavy type of bass. So I got some key jingles, some paper crumples, a pill bottle, all these things, right? You have to take note of this as a Foley artist. All that's going on. So I got duffel bags, I got these cloth movements, all these body movements that all kind of layer in to make it sound natural. And again, we have some ambient rumbles. They're called drone noises. That when he's walking around, he's tense, he's probably heart beating, he's filled with anxiety, so I wanted to give it a low rumble. And all these footsteps also are panning left and right. As he's walking across the camera and across the scene, he's panning, right? He's changing his sounds left and right, so that's important too. And this little head movement that he does, when he rubs his hand across his hair. I actually went to the microphone and recorded, rubbing my own short hair at the time because it made the same noise, and that's what I used, so that fit perfect. And really that's a lot that I wanted to show you guys there. I hope that makes a little bit of sense, just how automations and how panning can be really important when it comes to your scene. I can't appreciate, all the support enough from you guys for tuning in and just showing some type of interest to this industry and to my journey as I hopefully get to work on these bigger films one day. If you guys have any questions or want to see a certain piece of content, please drop it down in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, please. That would mean the world to me. And I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, you guys keep being creative, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.